There are voices that entertain us, and then there are voices that stay with us forever. Whitney Houston had that kind of voice. Every time she sang, it felt like she wasn't just performing a song, she was telling her own story. But behind the fame, the awards, and the standing ovations was a woman who spent her entire life fighting battles the world couldn't see. Today, I want to take you on the emotional journey of Whitney Houston, a story of unbelievable talent, unforgettable success, heartbreaking struggles, and a legacy that will never fade. Whitney Elizabeth Houston was born on August 9, 1963, in Newark, New Jersey. Music wasn't just part of her childhood, it surrounded her every single day. Her mother, Cissy Houston, was a respected gospel singer, and her cousin was the legendary Dionne Warwick. Even the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, was a close family friend. You could say Whitney was born into music, but no one could have imagined just how extraordinary her future would become. As a little girl, Whitney sang in church. That's where her powerful voice first captured people's hearts. Those church performances weren't about becoming famous. They were about faith, passion, and pouring every emotion into every note. Looking back, it's amazing to think that the little girl singing in a church choir would one day become one of the greatest singers the world has ever known. Before becoming a superstar, Whitney worked as a teenage model. She appeared on magazine covers and quickly caught the attention of the fashion world. But deep inside, music remained her true calling. In the early 1980s, music producer Clive Davis discovered her incredible talent. That meeting changed her life forever. In 1985, Whitney released her debut album, Whitney Houston. The world instantly fell in love with her voice. Songs like Saving All My Love for You, How Will I Know, and Greatest Love of All became massive hits. Her voice was unlike anything people had ever heard. It was powerful yet gentle, emotional yet flawless. Fans didn't just listen to Whitney, they felt every word she sang. Success came faster than anyone expected. Records were broken one after another. Concerts sold out around the globe. Awards kept pouring in. Whitney wasn't just becoming famous, she was becoming a global icon. Her second album, Whitney, made history by debuting at #1 on the Billboard 200, something no female artist had achieved before. But her biggest moment was still waiting. In 1992, Whitney starred alongside Kevin Costner in The Bodyguard. The movie became one of the biggest films of the decade, but it was the soundtrack that changed music history forever. When Whitney sang, I Will Always Love You, originally written by Dolly Parton, she transformed it into one of the greatest songs ever recorded. Her breathtaking performance gave people chills and brought millions to tears. Decades later, that song still touches hearts across the world. At the peak of her career, Whitney seemed unstoppable. She won Grammys, American Music Awards, Emmy Awards, and countless other honors. Millions admired her beauty, elegance, and incredible talent. To the outside world, it looked like she had the perfect life. But appearances can be deceiving. Behind the spotlight, Whitney faced intense pressure. Every performance came with enormous expectations. Every interview was examined. Every decision made headlines. Living under constant public attention slowly became exhausting. In 1992, Whitney married singer Bobby Brown. Their relationship attracted worldwide attention, but it was far from easy. Over the years, reports of arguments, personal struggles, and substance abuse filled newspapers and television screens. Fans who once celebrated Whitney's happiness began worrying about her well-being. As the years passed, her struggles became more visible. The powerful voice that once seemed untouchable started showing signs of strain. Concerts became difficult. Public appearances became unpredictable. Rumors spread everywhere, and sadly, many people focused more on her problems than on her incredible achievements. Yet through it all, Whitney never stopped trying. She sought treatment, made public appearances, and worked hard to rebuild her career. In 2009, she released the album I Look to You. For many fans, it wasn't just another album, it was a symbol of hope. It showed that despite everything she had endured, Whitney still believed in new beginnings. Watching those performances, you could still hear the emotion that had always made her special. Her voice had changed, but her ability to connect with people remained just as powerful. Then came the day that shocked the entire world. On February 11, 2012, Whitney Houston was found unresponsive in a hotel bathtub in Beverly Hills, California, just hours before a Grammy Awards party. She was only 48 years old. News of her death spread across the globe within minutes. Millions of fans couldn't believe it. Radio stations played her songs nonstop. Social media filled with heartfelt tributes. Fellow artists openly cried while remembering the woman who had inspired generations. It felt like the world had lost not just a singer, but a piece of music itself. Even after her passing, Whitney's influence has only grown stronger. Young singers continue to study her vocal technique. Artists across every genre cite her as an inspiration. Her recordings continue to sell millions of copies, introducing her voice to new generations who never had the chance to see her perform live. Whitney Houston's story reminds us that extraordinary talent doesn't make someone immune to pain. Fame doesn't erase loneliness. Success doesn't guarantee happiness. Behind every smiling photograph can be a person carrying invisible burdens. But her story is not only about heartbreak. It's about courage. It's about resilience. It's about a young girl from Newark who dreamed through music and reached heights few artists will ever achieve. She broke barriers for women in the music industry, inspired countless performers, and gave the world songs that will live forever. Whenever I hear Whitney Houston sing, I don't just hear perfect notes. I hear determination. I hear hope. I hear joy, heartbreak, love, and strength all wrapped into one unforgettable voice. Legends don't disappear when they leave this world. They continue living through the memories they create and the lives they touch. Whitney Houston's voice still echoes through stadiums, homes, headphones, and hearts across every continent. And maybe that's the most beautiful part of her story. She may no longer be here, but every time, "I Will Always Love You" begins to play, it feels as if Whitney is reminding us that true greatness never fades. Some voices are simply too powerful to be silenced. Whitney Houston wasn't just one of the greatest singers in American history, she became a timeless symbol of passion, perseverance, and unforgettable music. Her life teaches us to celebrate extraordinary gifts while never forgetting the human being behind the spotlight. And that is why her legacy will continue to inspire the world for generations to come.